How your property taxes are calculated. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or a long-time Burnaby resident, it's important to have a clear understanding of the property tax process. How does the City of Burnaby determine the property tax rate each year? First, the city calculates the total cost of delivering services to Burnaby residents, less revenues from user fees and other sources. Once we know how much everything will cost and what revenues can come from other sources, the city then determines what funding is required from property taxation. City Council needs to approve a tax rate in order to cover this funding requirement. By law, the city cannot collect more taxes than what is needed to balance the budget. Each homeowner pays property taxes based on how much their home is worth. Worth is determined by the assessed value as determined by BC Assessment. So the total city property tax funding required is divided by the assessed value of all homes in Burnaby, which gives us the property tax rate. This tax rate is applied to all the houses, with homeowners paying according to how much their house is worth or assessed at. Let's take a look at what happens when the assessment values of homes change from year to year. Imagine there's a town that only has 3 homes. The total cost to provide the town services is $1,500. $500 will be funding from other revenue sources, so the net funding from property taxation required is $1,000. Each of the homes is valued at $100,000. So the total value of all the homes in the town is $300,000. To get the property tax rate, you divide the total cost of funding required through property taxes, $1,000, by the total value of all the properties, $300,000. That gives us a property tax rate of 0.33%. This rate, multiplied by the assessed value of the home, will determine how much each homeowner pays in property taxes. This year, each homeowner would pay about $333. Let's say the next year, all 3 properties have gone up equally in value. If we go back to our calculation, the total cost of funding required through property taxes hasn't changed, but the total property assessed value has increased. When this happens, there will be a decrease in the tax rate. Although the tax rate is lower, the town still needs to collect the same amount, $1,000, in order to balance the budget. Therefore, when we apply that new, lower rate on all the homes, everyone still pays the same amount as the prior year, $333. Now let's see these homes are reassessed again the following year. During this time, the assessed value of the house on the right increased, while the other 2 did not. Once the tax rate has been adjusted, the first 2 homes will actually pay less than the home on the right that was reassessed at a higher value. Since the funding required hasn't changed, the town doesn't need to collect more property taxes. So to summarize, if the assessed value of a property increases in line with the average change for the same type of property across the city, and funding requirements for the city stay the same, then property taxes should stay roughly the same year over year. If a property's assessed value has increased more than the average change for the same type of property, then you will likely see an increase in municipal taxes. BC Assessment, a provincial agency, is responsible for assessing the value of all properties in BC each year. Property owners will receive their assessment notice from BC Assessment each January. Review the assessment notice sent to you to make sure the assessment value of your property is correct. If you disagree with the assessed value, you have until the end of January to appeal to BC Assessment. If you have any questions or concerns with your assessment, please contact your BC Assessment office for clarification by January 31st. We hope this gives you a better understanding of how property taxes are collected in Burnaby.